Hello all. I wanted to share with you a quick update just to where I am at the moment, following on from my last sharing with you. And the last couple of days have been, again, really intense for me. And a lot of crying, a lot of emotional release in many ways, as I shared in my last sharing, in my last video. The energies that have been flowing within me, and the emotions and the feelings and the thoughts that have been flowing and that I've been experiencing, in many ways they've been non-stop. It's been a non-stop process at times, but it's also been, there have been times when I've been able to reflect and just have the most amazing realizations and understandings about me and my journey and the experiences that I've had, and just reflect upon it all. And I was just saying saying to myself earlier, that it's as if everything is up for grabs at the moment. Everything's up for review, for revisitation. So it's definitely still an intense time for me. And I've thought a lot about death and the death energies, which they don't worry me at all, death and that process. But I think I'm on some level intuiting, feeling those energies of death. In other words, those energies of transition, those energies of moving from one space, one state of being to another. And I think there are parts within me, that are scared of that are scared of that death, of that process of moving, transitioning from one state of being into another state of being, because because again, as I was speaking about last time in my last sharing, we're conditioned and we're taught and told through various forms, through various means, that death is the end, that death is a form of loss in many ways. And even the process that we go through when we experience death, whatever form that may be, is called the process of loss often, the process of grief and loss, which which gave me an opportunity to think about loss and what that actually means, as well as death and what that means for me in the moment. And it really does feel as though there are parts of me, and as I shared in my previous sharing, it's the end of year energy, so we're moving from one year into another year. So I experienced this very profoundly in 2012, when at the end of that year, 3 major endings occurred for me, 3 major deaths, for they were deaths. The end of a relationship, the end of a job that I had been in for a while, and the end of where I was living at that time. So 3, and they all hit, so to speak, within a few weeks of each other. So everything that I held dear, everything that I thought was firm and safe and secure and certain, was in the blink of an eye gone. And at that time, though I didn't realize it, I look back now, and I was saying this to one of my nearest and dearest recently. We were talking about this, and for us, and I know we're not the only ones, but for us, 2012 was a year where what had happened up to that point stayed there. We, in many ways, it was like, again, dying and being reborn. Our lives up to that point, for the most part, changed in so many ways, so that when we started 2013, it was as if it was as if we'd just been born again unto this world. It was a brand new start. in this world for us. And so much of what happened previous to 2013 just feels as another lifetime. And that's kind of the energy that I'm feeling here. In fact, and I'll share this with you, the energies that especially the intensity of it, what came to mind with the intensity of the energies and the thoughts and the feelings that I'm experiencing was when I moved out of home. And I moved out of home quite late. And that was again around just before, oh, so it's, yeah, just before 2005. I just woke up one morning, I'd had a few drinks the night before, I was still a bit hungover. But something in me just knew that it was time. Something in me said, nope, that's it. This is the time. We're doing this. And I remember I woke up and I went, shivers. And I was in tears and I just started packing stuff up, putting stuff into those plastic crates, and ended up moving that day to my great aunt's place where I lived with her for a number of years and was her carer for a while because she wanted to keep living there. It was a big house, so there's plenty of room. So I moved in there with her and was her carer for a number of years. But it came to my mind that that's kind of the similar space that I find myself in now, that it's time and it's time for me to move into a new space. And I've been talking about that a lot recently, but I think as well that there are some parts and aspects of me, there's some energies, shall we say, that I'm not able to take into the new year, into 2019. So not in the form that they are. So so as I'm making my transition into a new year, those parts of me, for want of a better word, unraveling and being integrated slowly but uncomfortably back into, well, really for me it's about they're returning back to the light that they are. They're returning home to the light that they are. And those parts and those aspects of me are holding on for dear life, afraid of what that may mean, or afraid of what it means to them. So it is a lot of, I won't say letting go because that's not the energy of it, but more of allowing and just allowing it to unfold. And as I've been doing, just sitting with myself in those really, really intense moments and just crying or just speaking aloud what's in my heart and what I'm feeling, and just allowing that to flow. And then at the same time often having these amazingly profound revelations and realizations of the truth of where I'm at and what I've experienced. And so I tell you, sometimes we don't do things by halves in this life, and we do, whether we realize it or not, work on so many levels and in so many ways all at the same time. So and it's so important to remember to breathe as well. And that's the one thing that I find myself doing quite a bit lately, just making sure I breathe and just breathe in and breathe out and come back to my breath and the importance of my breath. And the breath, as I see, is, really a celebration of life and all that we are. With every breath we celebrate new life. We're breathing in new life and letting go as we breathe out. So many, as I said, so many realizations that I've been having. So that's where I'm at the moment, and it's still an intense time for me. It's still emotions and thoughts and reflections as well, just of what I see around me. But it's an opportunity as well, amongst everything else, of course, to come back to the heart and just bring it back to those moments of just loving myself and just loving whatever's going on for me, whatever I'm thinking, whatever I'm feeling, and it's amazing just how gentle that I am with myself. It's no, I'm not beating myself up, or there have been a couple of times when I've just thought, why am I here again? But it's such a more gentle process for me, and it's just a beautiful reflection of where I'm at, and what the space I'm in on my journey. So I just wanted to share this with you all, and I may share more as more comes to me, of course. But as I said in my last sharing, this time of year can be very intense for many reasons. So with all that I am and with all my heart, I wish each and every one of you a peaceful and joyful and beautiful time during this festive season. And if you are on your own during this period, I want you to know that even though we may not physically be with each other, we are always one in our hearts. And it is from this space, from my heart, that I share this with you, and that I wish you, each and every one of you, all the very best. And as always, I love you all.